Good morning. Welcome to Tribune News on Q, your go-to morning news source, only here at the Daily Tribune. We're live on Daily Tribune's Facebook page, Daily Tribune PH on YouTube, and a Daily Tribune official on TikTok. For today's headlines, an impeachment complaint was filed on Monday against President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. at the House of Representatives, endorsed by Pusong Pinay Party's Representative Jet Nisay. Public Works contractor Curly Discaya denied involvement in the purchase of a luxury Makati property allegedly linked to former Speaker Martin Romualdez, despite being named by secret witnesses in the Senate flood control probe. Of the 416 suspected ghost flood control projects nationwide from 2016 to 2025, only 14 were found to be truly non-existent, with the most built but located away from their intended sites. A fast-moving fire swept through a residential neighborhood in Barangay San Jose, Mandaluyong City early Monday, injuring 5 people including 2 minors and destroying dozens of homes. The United Arab Emirates announced Monday a new liquefied natural gas deal worth more than $2.5 billion with a state-run Indian firm, deepening energy ties between the two countries. Motorists and households will feel another hit to their budget starting this morning as fuel prices rise across the board, marking yet another increase since the start of the year. Netflix will become the global pay-one streaming home for Sony Pictures, feature films under a new multi-year deal that expands their long-running partnership. Venus Williams fell at the first hurdle but said she was proud of herself after making history as the oldest woman to ever play at the Australian Open on Sunday. Today is the 20th of January 2026, Tuesday, and I'm Eliana Lacap, bringing you today's top stories. Let's kick things off with today's weather. Tropical Depression Ada, also known as Noken, reigns over the Philippine Sea, 675 kilometers east of Casiguran, Aurora. It has maximum sustained winds of 55 kilometers per hour, with gusts up to 70 kilometers per hour, moving eastward at 20 kilometers per hour. The northeast monsoon will bring strong to gale force gusts over northern and eastern Luzon, Bicol region, Calabarzon, and parts of Visayas. A gale warning is raised over northern Luzon's seaboards. Mariners are advised not to venture out. Ada is expected to move to eastward before turning southwest and may weaken into a low-pressure area by Wednesday. Now for a traffic update. Light traffic is reported at the Balintawak Toll Plaza, Bocaue Toll Plaza, San Fernando northbound and southbound lanes, and Tarlac exit, where traffic has eased following a previous road crash. Approaching Mindanao Toll Plaza, motorists may encounter an approximate 7 to 8 vehicle queue. All other areas of NLEX, SSX, and NLEX connector, including toll plazas and interchanges, are experiencing light traffic conditions. Motorists are advised to stay alert and follow traffic advisories for a safe and smooth trip. Now let's move on to this morning's headlines. An impeachment complaint has been filed at the House of Representatives against President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., endorsed by Pusong Pinay Party's Representative Jet Nisay and prepared by lawyer Andre De Jesus, citing constitutional violations, betrayal of public trust, and graft and corruption. The complaint alleges, among others, the surrender of former President Rodrigo Duterte to the ICC, questionable budget provisions, alleged kickbacks and ghost projects, and claims of unfitness to serve. House leaders said the case will follow due process once referred to the Justice Committee, while Representative Paulo Duterte dismissed the move as political distraction. Public Works contractor Curly Discaya denied any involvement in the purchase of a luxury Makati property allegedly linked to former Speaker Martin Romualdez, despite being identified by 2 masked witnesses during the Senate flood control probe. The witnesses claimed that Discaya told them Romualdez had acquired the South Forbes Park home and ordered them to vacate. Discaya insisted he had never been to the property and rejected the accusations. Romualdez' camp dismissed the claims as hearsay, stressing his name does not appear in any sale documents tied to the property. The UAE signed a more than $2.5 billion 10-year liquefied natural gas supply deal with India, under which ADNOC Gas will provide 500,000 tons of LNG annually to state-run Hindustan Petroleum starting in 2029. The agreement makes India the UAE's largest natural gas customer, accounting for over one-fifth of ADNOC gas output, and was finalized during President Mohammed bin Zayed's visit to New Delhi, where both countries pledged to double bilateral trade to $200 billion by 2032. Now, only 14 of the 416 suspected ghost flood control projects from 2016 to 2025 have been confirmed as non-existent, the Department of Justice said, as most were found built but located far from their declared sites due to incorrect coordinates. The DPWH reported that 337 projects were constructed but misplaced, complicating inspections and delaying cases. Former DPWH Chief Manuel Bonoan denied deliberately submitting the wrong data, citing time constraints, and said confirmed ghost projects were limited to Bulacan's 1st District, where several personnel were later relieved. A fast-moving fire swept through Sitio 4, Barangay San Jose, Mandaluyong City early Monday, injuring 5 people, including 2 minors, and destroying dozens of homes. The blaze broke out around 6:12 a.m. in a densely packed area with combustible structures, prompting second and third alarms as firefighters battled it for 3 hours, fully extinguishing it by 9:17 a.m. Victims treated for abrasions, lacerations, and burns are in stable condition. Authorities continue investigating the fire's cause and assessing property damage and displaced families. Motorists and households face higher expenses as fuel prices increase starting January 20th, with gasoline up 1 per liter, diesel by 2 pesos per liter, and kerosene by 1.50 pesos per liter. The Oil Industry Management Bureau said the hike was driven by rising global oil prices and geopolitical tensions, particularly involving Iran. Following earlier smaller increases this month, fears of supply disruptions continue to push pump prices up, adding pressure on daily budgets for consumers. Now Netflix will become the worldwide pay-one streaming home for Sony Pictures films under a new multi-year deal with movies arriving exclusively on the platform after their theatrical and home entertainment runs. The rollout starts later this year with full global coverage expected by early 2029. The agreement includes new releases and curated selection of Sony's library, featuring The Nightingale, The Legend of Zelda, Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse, and Buds expanding Netflix's global content while giving Sony broader reach for its films. Now, Venus Williams, 45, made history as the oldest woman to play at the Australian Open, but fell in the first round to 24-year-old Olga Denovic in a 2-hour, 17-minute match. Williams, who returned via a wild card 5 years after her last appearance, praised her effort and the crowd support. Now ranked 578, she displayed the glimpses of her signature power and agility, but lost momentum in the deciding set, allowing Danovic to mount a comeback to claim the victory. Now a quick look at today's horoscope. Today calls for confidence and sharing, Virgo. You may have a striking idea in your mind, but feel hesitant to reveal it, fearing rejection. Trust those who value you and open up without fear. If things are meant to work as you envision, they will, and all it takes is belief. Sharing your thoughts today can spark connection, clarity, and unexpected opportunities. Now, Katribo, did you know that on January 20, 2001, the Philippines saw the culmination of EDSA DOS revolution? The 4-day People Power 2 protest ended with President Joseph Estrada leaving the Malacanang Palace, and Vice President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo was sworn in as the 14th president at the EDSA shrine by Chief Justice Hilario Davide Jr. The Supreme Court later confirmed the legality of Arroyo's presidency, ruling that Estrada had effectively resigned through his actions. Estrada was later arrested in April of 2001 on plunder charges. This peaceful revolution marked another pivotal moment in Philippine history, demonstrating the power of civic action and mass protests. Now today's viral story comes from an Instagram reel that has racked up 2 million views, featuring a very hyper and over-the-top kilig moment at Jollibee. In the clip, as a guy kisses a girl on the forehead, Jollibee can be seen humorously, violently choking and shaking a worker. The user captioned the video, "Tropa mong medyo bayolente kiligin," prompting netizens to comment things like, "Sa Jollibee, bida ang sakal." That's all for now, mga katribu. Join us again at 1 o'clock p.m. for more updates. This has been Eliana Lacap for Tribune News on Q.